How cool has it been to be here in Calgary?
No, it's awesome. When we were on the way here, all I heard was that it's the Texas of Canada. So, I was super excited to see more of Canada.
Darko said you guys are going to Banff later this weekend. Have you heard about that? Are you excited for that?
Banff? Yeah, David Roddy made me look it up on TikTok. He said it's like one of the most beautiful, natural wonders of the world. So I'm really excited about that.
Nothing like that in Texas. I don't think.
There's bears? Yeah, I'm not really. I'm going with David Roddy. Y'all see, he looked like a bear. We'll be all right.
Jamal, a lot's been made about your leadership on this team, especially being a young player, organizing the guys in the summer and stuff. I was just wondering, how, I guess it comes naturally to you, but how hard is it to do when you're, just going into your second year? Some guys might feel more, bashful or shy about it, but you don't. So where's that come from, and how comfortable are you in that role already?
I'm friends with all of these guys off the court, so that goes into a big part of it, and they respect me, I respect them, and honestly, it's just information. I'm a point guard. I give out information. They take it, they receive it, and then we move on from there. I don't think it's more of them just following me. I'm just the best leader ever. I think it's just more of a respect thing.
I saw you working out with Alex Caruso this summer. He obviously just won a championship. I know you mentioned that was something you were trying to do going into this year, too.
Mm-hmm.
What did you pick up? What did you learn from working out with him?
Just pacing myself during the game. I'm very fast. He told me about, just changing pace and whatnot. And then on the defense end, just how he gets steals, and we watched a lot of film together. He did just come off a championship, so we didn't work out too much together, but we watched a lot of film. We had a lot of good talks.
I saw you got a lot of illegal screen calls. You found a way to do that. Was that one of those wrinkles?
That I got from Davion Mitchell.
Okay.
Yeah, Davion, he kind of set the standard last year before he got traded, and he helped me a lot, especially in training camp last year where we just got to talk and he pointed out a bunch of stuff. So I got that from Dave.
You just mentioned pace, but is there something that you went into this summer thinking I'm going to work on this? This is the one aspect that I want to bring into year two.
Just my conditioning. How we're about to play, how we are playing right now, and me being a focal head at that point, especially on the defensive side. Just having the energy and the air in my lungs to do all the things that we're trying to do.
How difficult is that going to be to play with the kind of pace that Coach wants? Intensity, and then be able to sustain that?
Yeah, I don't think it'll be too hard, especially we're going harder than probably I'll get to go as hard in the game right now because, we're playing 5-on-5 continuous. I'll get a break in the game. Me and Quick will be able to take turns in the game. It'll be a lot easier in the games. But I think doing this right now and, going as hard as we're going right now is preparing us for the game.
RJ was talking. When it comes to building that chemistry, like you said, you're friends with all the players off the court. How important are these training camps away from Toronto and building that and that chemistry?
Super important. I think we've been building that the whole summer, and I think all of these trips that we had when we went to Austin, when we went to Spain, when we went to LA, Newport, all of that goes into part that we enjoy being around each other, and it's not a force. So I think that us being all friends, it makes us so much better on the court.
There was a lot of talk yesterday about chips on shoulders, and then Brandon said if you try to prove something to others, it usually doesn't go so well. How do you balance finding motivation from the outside but sort of channeling it correctly?
Obviously, outside motivation will always be there, but we got to look in between ourselves. Brandon hasn't played in almost a year. That's motivation in itself for him. We didn't make the playoffs last year. Just taking little things and then trying to push each other's agendas so that we all get better.
RJ was talking about how it's going to be a big bounce back here for IQ. He's pretty excited. You didn't even want to tell us what we're about to see from IQ. What have you seen from IQ? Because I'm assuming you probably guarded him the most.
I think everybody notices that IQ's in the best shape here out of everybody. His body looks well. He looks like he's just ready to go, and I think he's itching to go. And, he averaged, 17 and almost 9 last year, 17 and 10 last year, something like that.
Yeah.
And that was in minimized minutes. And he was having to play with half of his team the entire time that he was playing. So I think just getting to see the best version of him with the best version of our starting five is going to be really fun.
Why is he in better shape than you?
Hey, I don't. That's a great question. I think he's just built that way. I got a little bit more meat on my bones, but I think the way he prepares himself, I'm about to take a page out of his book and see if I can match that.
There's been a lot of talk about the first unit playing a lot together, second unit playing a lot together. How those battles been going? Who's been winning those?
Honestly, they've been kicking our ass.
Yeah.
We still give them a fight, but they're a good group, and the more that we get give them a fight as the second unit, I think that we're only going to push them. But they're a really good 5, and I think I'm super excited to see them start games and us try to come in and match that intensity.
Darko's been talking all about great competition in the team for minutes. Do players like that?
You should.
Well, yeah, they should, but do they?
Should. Yeah, I know this group, we love that. That we get after it. Practices aren't easy. We're getting after it where sometimes, it's practice, so there's a little extra fouling and stuff. It's good, competition. That's what you love to see, because when you practice like that, then the game becomes easier.
Darko mentioned yesterday that you guys have been kind of scrimmaging, drilling with your projected starting lineup, which I assume mean the bench guys are together as well. That's a group of young and hungry guys. Yeah. Have they really been pushing you over the last few months? Like, what have those games been like from a competitive standpoint?
Yeah, man, it's been very competitive. You got guys out there like Jamal's annoying. He's a pest. So like Oach is out there. Everybody's doing a good job, man. Like we're very happy with the progress we've been making. How hard we've been working.
You mentioned Jamal being a pest, but I know one of the things people talk about him too is his leadership, even during the offseason and stuff. You're a vet kind of in the league now. How hard is it to be a young guy, like going into second year and kind of taking on a leadership role, organizing the team? Like, if you think back to being a sophomore.
Jamal was never really a rookie, you know what I mean? Like, that's what I always tell him. But no, you hit it on the head. He's been a leader already since before he got here. So it's good to see how he's been adjusting. And yeah, I mean, when you're first, second year in the league, especially me, I came in a little younger, it's not always easy, difficult, but you got to be able to stick with it, figure it out. Like, that's kind of the name of the game. It's not supposed to be easy. These are the best players in the world, so you just got to come every day with a mentality to learn and figure it out.
You and Brandon have been paired up a lot just by position. Both of you guys have scored the ball at a high level. Have you guys picked up anything from one another, little things in the craft?
Brandon and I compete a lot, like obviously like we're all like playing together, but there's still competition, and just what I've kind of seen with him is just his work ethic. He comes in every day, he comes in early, he works on his stuff, so he's a true professional. Besides his height and the length and his shot making and stuff, besides that, I can see why he's been as good as he is.
Marco was talking about how roles can change on a night-to-night basis and how guys have to buy in. For a player who's in the league now, that's become a vet, what's your message to some of the younger guys about that process?
Just stay hungry, man. Stay hungry. In life, things aren't always going to go your way right from the beginning, but just stay hungry. Something's going to happen. You're going to get your opportunity. Everybody's here fighting for something, so just keep going and you'll have your time to shine.
RJ, since you and Quick came in the trade together, it feels like the last 2 years has always been something going on, like injuries, team, whatever. But how excited are you guys to get a clean slate of you guys both healthy, you guys got a whole start on the season too?
I don't even worry about 5, man. Don't worry about him, man.
Call him 5 now?
Yeah, don't worry about 5. No, yeah, we're 9 to 5, so ain't worried about him, man. No, that's my brother. He's it's good to see him healthy, him back, and I'm not even going to say too much on it. You guys will see once he's out there on the court.
As a Canadian, how important is it to you to represent the Raptors across the country here in Calgary?
That's a question I love right there. It's amazing. This is my first time in Calgary, so I'm excited to be here. Actually, one of my friends used to actually play here. Noah Wharton, he used to play here, so it's cool. It's cool to be here just to bring Raptors basketball to a different part of the country.
Darko mentioned that you guys are going to Banff this week. Is that something you're looking forward to? Have you heard about that?
Of course, I've heard about that. So that's an experience. It's one of those ones, especially as a Canadian, that I probably should have already had, but we'll see. It's I'm sure it's going to be amazing.
What have you thought of the facilities here throughout your morning?
Yeah, no, it's been great. There's good facilities here, the good weight room up there and stuff. So yeah, no complaints at all.
It's a relatively compressed training camp, 3 practices and then a game. What do you need to get accomplished, and what are the key things you need to work on in the preseason?
Well, it starts with really establishing our identity on defensive end and offensive end. We did a lot of work during the summer. I think guys did an outstanding job with conditioning. Now it's about getting all of our principles in, understanding how we want to play on defense, understanding how we want to play on offense, and really putting foundation down for us going into the season. Once it comes to the training camp, practices that become longer, we compete more. That becomes like really good opportunity for us to coach more, to get into the details, and really start creating chemistry on a team. Seeing different guys in different combinations, how they play together, how they find each other, understanding roles. I think that's the most important thing now.
The combinations are going to be really interesting. You got a lot of guys in that 7 through 12 who all have right to play. What's going to determine who does?
It's going to be very simple. Like, it's going to be who is performing the best, who is giving the most to the team, and everybody got to be ready at any point of time. It's a long season. There are a lot of games. Everybody's going to get opportunity in a certain point of time. But I think for everybody, they need to understand that there is another guy on a team that's competing for the same minutes. So everybody got to take it very, very seriously. At the end of the day, it's going to be my decision who's going to be there on the floor, and I'm really, really excited to have this group of guys working this hard, which makes my job harder to who's going to be on the court.
You mentioned yesterday that there's obviously been a ton of roster turnover here over the last couple of years, more continuity going into this season. Did you feel that today, that level of familiarity, getting these guys back in the gym that maybe you didn't have on the first day of camp?
For sure. I think it felt that we're not starting from a zero. It felt that we're like really starting to build on foundation that we created this last season and over the summer. So majority of the guys, they know how we want to play. They know our basic principles, and they can really help during the practice, keeping other players, younger players, new players accountable and helping them and coaching them, which was amazing today. That this was really, really good first day.
You spoke of the defensive identity. At Summer League, those guys were playing defense like they were on fire. Of course, you have more fouls to work with in Summer League, and they're Summer League games. Is the thinking there that you want to dial them up to 11 and you can always turn them down, or is that like the ferocity that you think is sustainable over the course of the season?
I really believe in that our defensive identity has to come from a mindset of that we want to dominate on defensive end, that we really want to make our opponents very uncomfortable, and for that you need a lot of work, and for that you need big time commitment, and that's what we have from our group. What we did there in a summer league, I think that's something for us. It's a good start. It's something to build on, and I think the NBA is changing as well. I think there is going to be more and more teams that are going to be picking up full court. They're going to be playing more defense. We saw two really good defensive teams going to the NBA Finals, and for that you also needed the depth of your roster, guys that are able to do that.
I was going to ask about that. Like, you spoke about liking to play 10 or 11 guys in a rotation. Does playing that way require playing 10 or 11 guys?
Absolutely. Like that way, no chance you can go and play 48 minutes games. I don't think this style of play that we want to have on offense and defense, I don't think nobody can be in a shape to play 12 minutes straight, to be honest with you. I think shorter stints, play hard on both ends of the floor, raise a hand when you need a little bit of rest, and I'll get you back in the game. And I think playing that way, it's keeping everybody honest and accountable, and it helps. Like, if you don't have it, somebody else from the bench is going to have that same energy and ferocity that we need on the floor.
As a coach, how do you balance, I'm sure you've thought about the roster, you come into the year with an idea of who's starting or how the rotation breaks up, but how do you balance that and what you think versus, giving guys the space to maybe break into the rotation, or guys further down, to knock someone off the ball?
That's a really good point. I think spending time around the guys in the summer creates certain opinions, and then once you go into training camp, I told coaches, we talked about it, let's give opportunity to all the guys to prove us right or to prove us wrong, in a sense that they might be able to do more and better than we expected. So I don't like set mentality. I believe in all of those guys that they can improve and grow, and so I got to look them through those eyes as well. So we're going to be watching film, evaluating every single day, and seeing where we are.
Darko, looking at the court, the way you split it here, you look like you guys have 5 or 6 shooting guards. How do you evaluate your options there, and who's going to ultimately what does someone need to do to secure the minutes there at that position?
I mean, it's going to be for everybody like how aggressive they're going to be on defense, how they're going to embrace our offensive style of play, and how they're going to fit in. So all of those guys, they're fighting for limited spots on the roster, and that's what you want. That's what you want. As I said, there is a reason why there are 15 roster spots plus 3 two-ways. NBA season is a long season. It's a long season. A lot of things are happening unpredicted. Very few players finish the season and play 82 games. I think you get really lucky if your starting 5 can put together 65 or 70 games together over the course of the season. That's just the reality where we at. So every player on this roster is extremely important for me and for the organization, and we're going to treat the guys that way.
From a coaching perspective then, is it manage expectations? How much of that is your job, especially with a very competitive position like that?
And I'm always going to be honest and talk to my players, and I'm going to have the best interest of every single player. At the end of the day, I'm going to make decisions who's going to be playing and how many minutes they're going to be playing. And I always want guys not to take anything for granted. If you're starting now, doesn't mean that you're going to start the next game. If you're in rotation now, doesn't mean that that's for the rest of the season. If you're out of rotation, that's not set in stone. So work, prove yourself, look for the opportunities, so when those opportunities present itself, as I said, my job as a coach is going to be putting those guys on the floor and finding their best usage, and I just want all of them to make it really hard on me.
Sandro is one of the new guys. How big has the learning curve been for him, and what have you liked from what you've seen?
So Sandro is very smart. Obviously, he just finished a couple of weeks ago playing Eurobasket and being with national team of Georgia. So for him right now, it's we're really trying to go slow, not to go ahead of a curve, to go with basic stuff to help him out. So I don't want him to overthink the game at this point. I want him to be himself and really play, and along the way to coach him up.
Hi, Darko. A lot of players have described you as very active and involved.
Coach, welcome to Calgary. How does it feel to be able to connect with this part of the country?
It's awesome. So for Thursday, we have a planned outing to go see Banff and area. And I was I don't know if I want to go or not, but trust me, there was 20 people, you have to go. It's amazing. I heard so many things about Calgary, how great city is and how people over here are welcoming. Looking forward to meet local fans over here. I know how much Canada is supporting Toronto Raptors, and that's not just the team of Toronto, but the whole country of Canada. So we're really, really excited to be over here. And every year we're always looking for the opportunities to go visit different places. And coming to Alberta now is very important for us. And I want guys to have opportunity to meet locals and to get to know Calgary the best.
Being at University of Calgary, there's been a lot of buzz with you guys being on campus, especially with open practice on Friday. How do you expect the atmosphere to be with students and the local fans?
Electrifying. I expect everybody could come in great spirits over here to enjoy seeing our guys. I know that our guys are really excited to go out there and play, so it's going to be a great night.
What's it like to have that this national fan base supporting you guys?
Well, it's amazing, right? 40 million people pulling for one team. It's a great honor. It's a great responsibility. We feed off our fans, and we always look forward to interact with our fans across the whole country.
And what's this facility been like in your short time here?
It's been great. I was really impressed with the facility. The floor was awesome. We were able to go out there and really compete on a high level today. So it's a beautiful facility here.